Hello, today we are going to study Changing Role of Public Sector, chapter number 3 NCERT Business Studies. So, what was the role of the public sector? First point was not first point, important full form you all must remember is BIFR, Board for Industrial and Financial Reconstruction. So first point is development of infrastructure. As before independence, the structure was very poorly built or built negligibly. So it requires high funding too and high investment, and it's not sure that it will give profit. So when government decided to to develop it, so they asked private sector, would you like to do? So private sector just backed out and said no, it required high investment and there is uncertainty of profit, so we are not going to be a part of it. So you see your own and we will not invest. So government invested in development of infrastructure solely. That's the only thing. That was the only thing that government developed it solely. Second point is regional balance. As private sector would only invest in those places where they could find profit. So they would always be willing to plant or to place their plant in developed states. So government said don't plant in only developed states, as it will make a state most developed and a state least. So why the private sector would take this as an order? So government put some benefits, that tax saving, subsidized rates for land, etc., for regional balance. Third point is economies of scale. As this thing required a huge funding, so it was only possible for the government to establish it, and establishing it in large, doing it in large reduce the cost, causing economies of scale. Check over concentration of economic power. So as it required high funding and so the one who invested will take all the profit. If a company invested in a particular project, then the company will take all the profits. So government did it, and there were many workers, and they also issued share, so that if it comes with profit, then everyone can have it. This divides the profit, not making one extremely rich. Fifth point is import substitution. At that time public sector companies were substituting import, as they were unable to import it, as heavy heavy machineries were hard to import, so they established their own companies replacing it. Thus, import substitution took place. Sixth point is government policy towards the public sector since 1991. First point, reduction in the number of industry reserved for the public sector from 17 to 8 and then to 3. So, firstly, there were in the earliest time there were 17 things in which private sector was not allowed to come and do their functioning. But as the government realized that ta- ta- taking all under reservation would not develop the country, so they made it lower to 8 and then to 3. Now only 3 sectors are there which are reserved, which are railway, atomic energy and arms. As the government thinks that if private sector would enter this, they will they may reduce the public safety for achieving maximum profits. Second point is disinvestment of shares of a select set of public sector enterprises. As some companies were not non-revivable, they were sure that they can't just make it revive and it would function properly. So they sold its shares and took their investment back so that the money locked in the company could be accessed back and could be put in some other things. C. Policy regarding sick units to be the same as that for the public sector. So, policy regarding sick units to be the same as that for the public sector. So the BIFR BIFR has considered some schemes for the companies which are non-revivable and are giving just losses. So what to be done to it, and National Renewal Fund was set up by the government to retain labor and to provide compensation to public sector employees seeking voluntary retirement. And D. Memorandum of Understanding. By this, managements were granted their autonomy and greater power so that they could do more. But this came for a price, as they were given clear targets and was given more power so that they could achieve the targets, and they are accountable if they didn't finish their targets. Global enterprises joint venture is omitted in 2020 class 11, so we don't have to study it. So peace out.